Hello. Oh, why are
Good
we
morning.
joining?
Hello. Good
Hello.
morning. Hello. Good morning. This is a very special morning. Yeah. A
Yeah.
little spicy this morning. You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had my coffee. So my brain isn't functioning. I'm also eating eggs for brekkies. So, you know, my brain isn't functioning. however, however, did you have a good week at least?
It's been cold as fuck.
No, that is absolutely true. I felt like this past week was the longest week I've ever had to endure. Like, I felt like it stretched out for years. Maybe because it was gray and gloomy and cold but I felt like this week was very long. Very long ass week. Mm, excuse me, don't mind me. So, I got us a little something special today. I know I discussed with you about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have this book. So, I have a thing, and I think I've told you this too. I love I mean, first of all, I hate people straight up, right?
Yeah.
However, comma, I love to talk to just random people or like listening to random people
Mm-hmm.
because I like getting to know them. I think there's a maybe it's a Scorpio thing. We just got to get to know everybody. Like we need to know. We just have to know things.
Y'all
But
nosy.
I love getting to know people. Maybe yeah, maybe because I'm nosy. But in general, I have a good like a curiosity to people. And so growing up, I would ask like the randomest questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get to know someone.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't think I've ever asked you these random questions. However, I found a book that
Uh-oh.
I don't have to keep thinking them on the fly. I have a book that has a bunch of random questions, 3001 questions to be exact, of just random questions that I can ask to ask you. And of course, you are more than welcome to ask me anything. Oh, Chelsor!
Hi.
Yes, it's been the longest week. It's the longest week. There's no days anymore.
Well,
Days do not
she's been
exist. Time
sick
is irrelevant.
too. She's been
Oh,
like
that's true.
seriously
You
sick.
have been sick. You have been sick.
I've just been kind of
Um,
sick. I got like a sinus infection because it's like we work in an unheated and unair conditioned warehouse.
yeah,
So like our
I hate
offices are
it.
like 32 degrees this week.
Yeah, it was. And
So
not only
going from
that,
like hot to cold because it's like I keep my house reasonably temperatured. Like we don't really get
mhm,
above like 72 degrees at home.
yeah. I mean, at home though, I do have like a heater warmth. I have warmth and I get to wear fuzzy socks and fuzzy pants, instead of work clothes. I get to cover myself up in blankets, so I'm fine at home. But where we work, hell no. And we have heaters at work too, but I can't get warm. I had the sniffles. Ew, sinuses.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for anyone who's been sick. And actually, a lot of people are sick.
Yeah.
Like, and if you hear me sniffing, it's because I don't have a sinus infection. I don't have COVID. I'm just cold. I just have the
Yeah.
basic cold. Like the basic cold.
Having known you for
But
what, 3 winters at this point, it's like she sniffles
you
at
know me.
the drop of a temperature.
My body is not meant to take this. I don't know how many times I have to tell people I've lived here all of my life and my body never acclimated to the cold temperatures.
It's your
And my husband,
heritage.
God bless him. Yeah, it is my heritage because like where my dad lives and where my mom lives, it doesn't go below like 65, so it's really, really warm, which is saying something because my dad went to visit his family in Mexico
Mm.
and they were wearing shorts and short sleeve shirts and all
Oh,
that stuff. And I'm like, I wish I could be you.
I have a friend down in Florida. I think just a little bit. Um, I think they've told me they live like an hour outside of like Orlando, and I think that's via interstate.
Uh
And
huh.
they told me that it like was like 46 in their
Oh,
area
heck
earlier
no.
this week, and I'm just like, oh hell no. If Florida's fucking
No.
cold, oh hell no.
My sister was showing me videos um of them playing in the snow. And they actually have like it's a small amount of snow, a few inches of snow, but it's more snow than I've ever seen in my life that I could remember. You know, I know there was a blizzard down here in 93, but that was probably the most of snow I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, no, that's too much for me. I've seen TikToks with people like in snow, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't need that. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So, you have
Anyway,
some basically icebreaker questions.
I guess so, but they're so bizarre and weird, okay? Because I
I
love
mean,
those kind
I
of
feel
questions.
like
They're
that's
bizarre and
good.
weird.
I'm an introvert. Like, I'm not gonna ask you, it's like, oh, how's your day been? Blah, blah, blah. Like, to some strangers and
Small
shit. I'm
talk?
gonna go up and I'm like, what's your favorite star
Have you ever
constellation?
killed a
What's your
man?
favorite planet? Like, you got a favorite
Oh
color?
yes,
You're gonna
that
have to give
too.
me the exact
I
frequency.
love I love how your questions would be, "What's your favorite?" And mine is, "Have you ever killed a man?" Just straight up. Oh yeah, yeah. We have differences. We have questions.
Exactly,
Uh,
Chelsea. I'm like, Ricey told me what 2 weeks ago. It's like it's snowing, and I'm like, I'm going to sleep. I don't give two fucks. It's cold. My bed is
mhm.
warm. I have the perfect ecosystem of blankets right now. Fuck the snow.
Right. I would love to take pictures in the snow, but I'm such a bitch baby when it comes to the cold. I think I would not enjoy it.
I
That's
was
the
about to say
thing.
you a
That's
bitch
the
baby
thing.
about the
I'm
cold.
a bitch baby about the cold. I do not like the cold. My body just I don't know what, it cannot regulate body temperature and like that, it just cannot get cold. And my husband's the opposite. He cannot regulate like the heat. He doesn't do heat very well at all. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
he's
It's cold and wet and icy and gross. It's not there's no snow. It's only
he.
ice.
Yeah, there's nothing nice here in Alabama.
No. And I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, but it's negative degrees in the north." Yeah, I understand that. That's why I'm not in the north.
Yeah, it's like I
Fuck
don't live
that.
there.
I understand it's much colder in the north, but if you can understand me complaining here in the south, I will never go up north. Or living up north.
Especially like the
Mm-mm.
Midwest. Oh,
Yeah,
it is humid.
I can't. I can't.
But the
It is
humidity,
very
like
humid.
when it's
Mhm.
cold, cold though, the humidity kind of helps make it feel a little warmer. It doesn't
I
help
don't know
anything
about
in the
that.
summer, but at least in the winter.
I know. I now know I have to double up like layers and layers under my clothes because I can't warm up. You're probably gonna see me in fuzzy socks at work.
Okay.
Okay, so oh, here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Okay, and also any chatters, if you want to ask us a question, we welcome
Or
it.
if
That's
you
why
want to
today's just gonna be
respond.
second. Or yeah, this is also for you guys as well because I love learning about people. Also, hi
Oh,
Dylan. Keep your snow. I
Dylan's
don't want it. Agreed.
fair.
Agreed. Agreed. Um, so here's something. What do I recognize in others that I see in myself? I guess it could be good or bad.
Yeah, that is a very neutral question. It could be like a more pessimistic mind would probably see something very negative.
Hmm.
Optimistic.
I hate to say this, but I'm starting to really but you okay, all right, fair. I'm starting to really recognize ADHD in a lot of people.
Yeah.
I now notice a lot of my friends that I have around me. The reason why I have you guys as friends is because every single one of you guys have ADHD and we can understand each other. I know that's so
Well,
weird.
except Chelsor. Poor Chelsor. She
Oh yeah, poor
she gets
Chelsea. She can't
so
keep up
lost when
sometimes.
me and you start going.
Yeah, she can't keep up sometimes. I'm so sorry, Chelsea.
We
Because
love
we would
you.
go
We're
on
sorry.
we are very sorry because we would go on these like tangents and we would switch up so quickly and Chelsea was like, wait, what are we talking about? What's going on now?
And it
How did we
doesn't
get here?
help that like I know with myself, and Chelsor has seen it like firsthand in like a very quiet
Mhm.
environment that I will forget words. Like I will be saying something
Mhm.
and I will
Me
forget words
too.
and like the important word.
No, same. Also, I spilled coffee, so let me clean my mess. Right back. I
Like, just
it,
pop on some Heelys, Chelsea, and hold on. That's the best way to do this.
I lost the train. Wait up. That's exactly how it is. And the thing with it is, I now notice more people who are not like ADHD because you can see on their
Mm,
faces they don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, oh shit, there I go again. I know that's the weird thing to see in people and individuals,
mm.
but as an adult, because they all said like, oh, it wouldn't be as bad as if you're an adult, it'll go away. Wrong.
Oh no.
It's nice to see other adults. Oh no,
As an
it's nice to see
adult,
other
you
adults who
learn how
have
to
it with me.
cope with it. Like, when you're
That's
diagnosed
it.
as a
You do.
child, or at least diagnosed, it's like you at least know now what you're fighting against and can fight
That's
against
true.
it.
True.
And
All right. So
I love like having my ADD people. Like, I love having neurotypical people
agreed.
like Chelsor because it's just like I can practice how to be normal, or what is expected to be normal with Chelsor. But it's like it's
Yeah.
really nice to be real free, like with you, with Aliaga, and I can just go. Like, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I was talking about, but thanks for listening to me talk about for the last 45 minutes, basically about nothing.
Oh, and it's wonderful. I love it. I actually love it. Even with people with ADHD have a capability of hyper focus on certain topics. God, oh yeah, no, that is absolutely true.
Absolutely. Ricey had to
And
put up with that with me Friday.
well, that's the thing. I think the reason why we get along is because if there's a topic that we both love, especially if it's something that we can shit on,
Mm.
you and I at work, we will just hyper focus on it.
Mm-hmm.
And like it is insane like for example, we went on a Batman tirade for nearly an hour because we just love shitting on Batman. And we did it
Well,
with this was the third week in a row we talked about
we
Batman.
love shitting on what Warner Brothers is doing with the live
See,
action Batmans.
that's true exactly, but we won't get on that topic because we will stay on
That's
that
an
topic.
that's an
Modal
that's
Zushi, I have a lot of things to say, but y'all have already heard it because it still pisses me off and I still love the show. However, the ending sucks. Just gonna say that, and y'all already know. That's all I
Chelsea,
want to
we
say
can
about
bring
that.
you on talk about Modal Zushi again if you want.
I'm gonna just say that. Just, no, we gotta move on. We need to move
Not
on.
this time, but later. We can
I
bring
need
you
to
on.
move on. Yeah, I'm down to talk about Modazushi again. Are you kidding? Um, because I still have problems. It's been months, and I still have a lot of feelings. I don't, and I know that's a good show. Any show that pulls you into that, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's one. This is a little different. Do you actually enjoy research, and why?
Academically, no. For fun, absolutely. I'm a like me and my husband will sit and like watch a show. I'm like, oh, that actor looks familiar. Oh, that voice sounds familiar. Where the fuck do I know this person from? Because I
Mm.
know that face. I love looking shit up. I love looking shit up. Like, I will go on a tangent. Like, that's how I learned when I was in like high school that Ron Perlman was a huge voice actor. Not just like a really big like actor, but like a huge voice actor, that he had basically been a voice in
Hmm.
every single like animated show I had watched growing up. And I knew him as like, well, what started this was he was the voice of Slade from Teen Titans. And so my parents kind of commented
Oh,
on it. It's like,
oh,
"Oh, who is this voice?
okay.
Who's this voice? Like, what's going on?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I kind of recognize the voice from other stuff, but let me look it up."
Mhm,
And that's that, that was like the defining moment that I looked it up on my phone and
mhm.
just went deep.
Interesting. So, I love how Chelsor and Dylan, they said, I think it's the same with your answer. If it's not academic, no, but if it is something, for fun, then yes. And Dylan says it depends on the topic.
Mm,
I have to say, um, I'm a very curious person.
mm.
I like to research, but my topics are very it really just depends as well. I'm with Dylan. It really depends on the topic that I'm discussing. Because like you, I would love to look up voice actors or even how what is it, especially voice actors with us or different actors in films. We do
Mhm.
that all the time. Um, but I also like learning about, and this is the weirdest thing. And of course, I studied this. This is my master's, but or my bachelor's degree in psychology. I love psychology. I love studying the brain, which
Mm,
is why I'm doing these questions. I love studying the brain, like, or just different aspects. And the one thing I love the most that I've been researching or like looking into, like really, really deeply, is the effect of the past 2 years in quarantine and
mm.
children and the mental growth of children. And I genuinely believe that the children born in 2001, 2000, no, 2020, 2020, and
Mm.
2021 are going to be the smartest kids we will have, because already it has been proven with people who are filming their like TikToks and saying things on Twitter how much smarter their kid is because their parents are home for a quarantine. However,
I
sorry,
don't
I'm
know
I'm
about
getting
that. I think
excited.
we're gonna have really drastic peaks. So
But
it's
this is
like
the
we're gonna
thing.
have really,
It's
really smart kids, but we're also gonna have really, really dumb kids as well.
that could also be a thing. However, because a lot of them can't go to school.
Mm.
However, they're as intelligent as they are, or as smart as they are, there's a increase in intelligence for children. Their social skills are shit. Like they do not know how to interact with their other peers, which is very interesting to me. I find that so interesting. Um, but yeah, that's something I've been going in on about, and I like to research it. Let's see if for some reason, you just want that tea. That's true. I'm also what would I? I'm not necessarily a drama llama. I don't like to cause drama, but boy, do I love listen. I'm a chismosa. There's a name for that. It's chismosa. I'm not. I'm just there for the chisme, and that's all.
And
But
that's
yeah,
fair.
that's me. Sorry, I got on a tangent again. I love science. Science is interesting to me. Oh, here's one something totally random. And also, these questions are for you guys too who are listening. What is the last item you returned and why did you return it?
My last item were some earbuds, some wireless earbuds that I
Mm.
picked up for my husband on New Year's from Best Buy. And they seemed to be like a decent brand and everything. They were fairly comfortable. They were pretty cool, interesting, things like that. Um, but we returned them. I returned them because it says in their little info booklet that they are supposed to power off when they are docked in their charging thing, and they would not. And I'm like,
Oh.
I'm not gonna like waste my time with this because you shouldn't have to turn off your Bluetooth to be able to use your phone um
Mhm.
when these are docked
Yeah,
and they're
that's
supposed to be powered off. So I'm like, I'll find you some new ones later, but these are not doing
yeah.
what they clearly say in their instructions they are supposed to do.
Aw. Yeah. Where'd you said you got them from Best Buy?
Yeah.
Dang.
My sister actually had something from the same brand that actually instead of
What
like
brand is
in
it? Skull Candy?
it's give me a minute to look it up and I'll get back to you about it. But my sister has
I
some
was
that
about to say.
clips onto her glasses
Oh, really?
because
Oh, no,
she has
that's
sensitive
interesting.
ears and can't have anything inserted in them. So she can't do
Yeah,
earbuds
okay.
or things like that. So she had some that clip onto her glasses and have little speakers that project towards her ears. So if
Hmm.
you stand close to her while she has something, you can hear it. But like they were really cool.
Mm. A vacuum because you couldn't deal with your shag area rug? I know. I know you were complaining a lot about that, which I'm very sorry for. That does suck that your vacuum didn't work. Um, you never return anything? Ah, the headache I get from having to return something outweighs the benefit. Usually smikes in my wardrobe. Dang. I had that same thought until I started accumulating too much. And then I just started returning them. I was like, I'll deal with the hassle just to return them because I ain't got no space. Especially when I was living in a small apartment. Mm-mm. I had to return a bunch of stuff.
Okay, so I
What was
found
the
out
last
what
thing I
brand it
returned?
was. It was
Oh
a
yeah.
JLab.
JLab. I'm looking this up. But yeah, I don't know. So what was the last thing? I think it's something had to do with my house. I think we returned a Google something machine, Nest machine thing
Mm.
that was supposed to. It's a Google something that allows. It's supposed to monitor the carbon monoxide or whatever. There's a special name for it. But we returned it. We're like, nah, we're good. We don't need that. Oh, I see these ear. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. I know what earbuds you're talking about now.
Um,
Um,
but
but yeah,
Ghost
I
saying, I
returned
agree
that.
with you. Sometimes it's just not worth the hassle. Like, I don't return gifts. Like, a lot of times I'm giving gifts and given gift receipts with it, and I'm just like, that's a really big
Oh,
hassle.
yeah. I don't ever trade a gift. I don't think I've ever returned a gift that had, like, a gift receipt. I don't think I've ever done that.
Right.
I feel bad. They're like, "Oh, if it doesn't fit you, you can return it and get something." And I'm like, "No, I still feel bad returning it." Okay, here's a good question. What is your definition of rich?
Um,
I don't I have to I have 2 definitions because one to apply to me and then one that I apply to others.
Debt free, can live comfortably in
Oh.
retirement. So it's like at our age, having like a 401k or anything like that. Um, and being able to live comfortably in your present time, not having to be like overly frugal about like not eating out for every
Oh,
single meal
yeah.
kind of situation, but like not having to worry about when your friends are like, "Hey, let's go out." Hi, I am so sorry. I just got screamed at by
Baby,
baby.
oh.
I am so sorry. Come here. Um, not having to like
Also, that's the life.
worry
Yeah.
about anything that like has to come up, like worrying about having to replace a water heater, speaking from experience,
Oh,
replacing an
yeah.
AC, roof repair, like not having to worry about just
Sacrificing
not having to
something.
worry about anything that life throws at you, basically.
Yeah. Mhm. Never having to look at price tags. That's a good one.
Oh,
Being rich is being happy.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that, but I can also understand why a lot of people do believe that. Because
Right.
for the same reasons that you listed, I think that it would contribute to other people's happiness,
Hmm.
not having to worry or stress or anything like that. I can understand why a lot of people think that being rich is being happy. Um, Especially if you're debt free. I'm with you there. As long as I'm debt free and if something I have enough money in case an emergency happens where I don't have to worry, that would be fantastic. That would
Right.
be the dream. I'm not looking to be a millionaire. I don't know what I would do with millions and millions of dollars. And they're like, "Oh, well, you can travel." Yeah, but travel doesn't cost millions and millions of dollars. I don't need millions. I just want to live comfortably. And I'm probably going to still work because I get bored a lot. And I got to do something. So it's not
Right.
like I'm not going to work.
Right. And it's
Um,
like, it's not being like work free kind of situation. It's like, I would still work. I would like either be in something very similar to what I am now,
mm,
probably something part time, but something where I can pursue my own interests.
exactly. Yeah, you can find happiness in other places. You have the time. I think that if you for me, I think that if you have enough money, you would have enough time to find the things that make you happy, like doing a hobby or traveling or doing something that would genuinely make you happy. If you want to go to freaking Disney World, you can be like, "All right, I just want to go to Disney World."
Right.
Choo.
And not
That to
and
me,
not like the ridiculous shit about Disney World where it's like that
no, just to
six
go.
thousand dollar like Star Wars experience.
Yeah,
I
no,
wouldn't be
nothing
about
like that.
that, but it's
No,
like
no,
just
no,
going
no.
to Disney with no burden.
Yeah, I can go to Disney and then I can go eat an ice cream pop and that or something and just enjoying riding the rides and
Right.
seeing the shows and all of that. However, if just saying, if there's anyone out there who works for Disney who wants to give me the key to the castle to stay over one night, I'm there. Forget everything I said. I'll do that experience. The Cinderella castle,
Yeah.
I'm there. Straight up, I'll go for that. I'll do that. I've always
Nah,
wanted to do that.
I wouldn't be into that. Like, I would like to go in and
I
see the
wanna
room,
know.
but I wouldn't want to stay
Yeah,
over. I wouldn't want that
I
full kind of
do. I wanna
experience.
see it. I wanna see how it is. I just wanna experience what it's like, and you're in an entire, like, park that's closed, so and for me, that's creepy, but I'm okay with that, you know? I'm okay with that. I just
Ghost
wanna see
Hands
how that is.
has the dream. Being rich is being able to get
Oh,
tipsy on wine during
yes.
weekdays and sleep until 10 a.m.
That's
Yes.
the dream. That's like if you were your own boss. Or actually, no, if you didn't ever have to work again. Like, So, all right. Let's see. Oh, here's a question. I don't think I've ever asked you this one. Well, I don't
I,
think I've ever asked you any of these, but have you ever risked your life?
I have done some dumb driving shit before, but not. I wouldn't say I've
Is
ever
it
risked my life. Like,
I'm
I haven't
thinking
gone skydiving, I haven't gone bouldering, done. I've gone skiing,
anything.
but I never, like,
Oh God.
nothing was super serious. So I don't
Hmm.
think I've ever actually risked my life. I mean, I drive on I-20 59 every day, so I guess that's risking my life, but
Technically walking out your front door is risking your life. I have to agree with someone like me. I have been in several car accidents, more than I can fit in one hand, which is not normal for a person. And I survived all of them. So yeah, I think I agree with Dylan this way. This time, just walking out your front door is risking my life. Um, every time I play Fast, and I love ghost hands. I did by cutting a venomous snake's head near a river. Yeah, heck no, man. I can't. I don't think I've ever actually intentionally risked my life that I know.
yeah,
I think I have.
I don't think I've done anything like that.
Yeah, I don't
I
think I
didn't
have
play with
either.
spiders really growing up. Like, I went canoeing here in Alabama, so we have like water moccasins and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
but never came across anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Um, I've never swam with sharks. Um, like, we went out to Stingray Island in
Oh, Stingray's awesome.
Cozumel? Is that where
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in like middle school and stuff, but like I had a complete panic attack because, the stingrays are bigger than my like 12-year-old ass. And that
That's
was
true.
not a
That's
fun
true.
experience for me.
Okay. Of a question
Mhm.
that's a little on the tea side,
On the
okay?
tea side, we love
On the
tea.
tea side. Now this is for you. Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna ask it too, but
okay.
what is the biggest scene you've caused? And if you haven't, do you ever want to?
Oh, okay. If you have something in mind, go ahead and say yours because I'll have to think about it.
This is interesting because if I don't know if I've ever wanted to cause a scene. However, I may have unintentionally caused a scene. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of if there is a time like that.
I feel like I probably did as a child, like a small child. I might have, like,
Oh
nothing
yeah,
like
as a
my sister
kid.
did. My
Oh
sister was the one that
yeah.
caused scenes, but like as a child, I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure I did.
I was about
What
to
it was
say.
about, I don't remember. Um, but I don't have a definitive answer.
All right, Shellsworth said, yelling at an insurance rep over the phone at work with a lot of customers around. That would be well, then you can alert the customers. The customers know not to fuck with you. So, Good on
Sometimes
you.
you just gotta yell at an
Yeah,
insurance.
I'm sorry. Yeah, especially if you're working phone service or any kind of customer service job. Yeah. I want us to have a day like the purge
Mm,
where customer service, you don't it's always random depending on like the stores where you can just cuss a customer out for being so stupid. I just want a day like that. One day out of 365 days randomly throughout the year where I can just cuss someone out
mm.
for being like a total dingus.
Like
That's all I'm
I
saying.
I will admit, like, it's not in public, but like I will cause a scene with like a solicitor, like over the
Oh,
phone,
oh yeah.
and not the
When I'm
kind
around.
that like where we work. I answer the phones, and like I'll get calls for people that it's just like, oh, do you have someone that does your freight? It's like, yes, goodbye.
Mm.
I won't cause a scene with that because they're actively trying to like
They're trying to sell you
create
something.
business for their business. Like I
Right.
get that. I'm talking about the scammers, solicitors. I'm talking about the ones that have that little bloop right before they like answer, like come on the phone and start talking to you. I will cause a scene with those, and I'm pretty sure I have caused
Mhm.
a scene with them. Not necessarily out in public, but like I will absolutely cause a
Right.
scene. Um, would I want to cause a
Oh,
scene? Yes. And we've
that's the
talked
thing.
about
I
it. There's
think
this one
I
scene that
know.
me and you want to do if it ever happens.
Never happens. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it's a
Um,
private thing, so we can't really go into super
we
detail,
can't
but
it's
we
yeah,
would
we can't get into it.
absolutely cause a scene.
Absolutely.
Public
Yeah.
everything. Probably record it.
Watch me. Watch me. Um, one time when I was younger at a convention down in Mobile, I fell on someone's display and broke their entire display. This was not intentional. Oh no, yeah. I completely forgot about accidents like that that would cause a scene. That's interesting. I'm trying to think deeply if I've ever done that. I wanted to scream at a client's face how much of a spoiled, entitled, ungrateful brat they are by wanting to exchange a beautiful gift because they didn't like. Ooh, I'm
Mm,
telling you, there's something about, I guess, retail or customer service or even like just food
yeah.
working workers. Those you got to be built different. No one
Yeah.
should have to deal with that. Which I can only imagine if we were allowed to be able to truly speak our mind. Uh, no one would ever work again. We just all get fired. Truly get fired. Uh, the service jobs, man. I just can't. I am trying to think of a scene that I intentionally caused. I have one,
Okay.
but it's private, so I can't really
Was
speak
it
out on
as an
it.
adult or as a child?
Oh, it was adult. I was definitely an adult.
Oh.
And I have you okay, so let me just make it as vague as possible, but you know I have a sharp tongue, right?
Yeah.
I have a sharp tongue, and sometimes I'm just gonna say, sometimes I say things out loud when there's other people, around, and I forget how, this happens, but, like, there's sometimes other people around, and I will say something in the middle of a bar,
Mm.
uh, hookah bar that is,
Oh,
I did this
have
to
you
a I
told
did
me
this to
about
a
this
friend.
one?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did
I know
this
which
to a
one.
friend at the time. I did this to a friend at the time, and I forget how and I didn't mean to cause a scene, mind you. Didn't mean to cause a scene. However, I have a sharp tongue sometimes, and, it's gotten me in trouble. Let's go with that. Let's go with that.
She's a
I get in trouble with
Scorpio,
mine.
so she's got that scorpion sting.
Yeah, let's just go with that. Let's just take and I think I told you this, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I
But
know
I
exactly
can't help it. I
what you're
can't
talking
help it
about.
sometimes. I can't help it sometimes. It comes naturally, and I keep telling myself, "Damn it, you gotta shut the fuck up, Ricey. Just shut
And
up."
she'll say
I
it
can't
without really
sometimes.
thinking. Like
No, I
something
won't.
will
Yeah,
happen and she'll just say it and it's like pricey.
I know, and I'm sorry. I just, I have it just happens. It very naturally. And you can only imagine how much I have to bite down on my tongue
Mhm.
to not say things like that to my boss. It's damn. You would just look at each other.
'Cause damn.
Yeah, I would cause a scene, and it would be with my boss. Watch me.
Mhm.
All right. Here's a good one. This is a good one for everyone here.
Okay.
When you're a senior citizen, how do you wanna be as a senior citizen?
Um,
I already know. I have it envisioned how I want it to be.
how I mean, I think I'm
Like,
gonna end up just saying something really sad. It's just like be of sound mind.
oh, okay, I'm assuming you're already of sound mind. So if you
My
have the
family
brain that you
comes
have now.
with a line of dementia.
Alright, let's just say then I will add something to this. If you had the brain that you have now, just a senior citizen. So you have a good sound brain. Because if I talk about it, yeah, my family has a history of dementia. So I'm not talking about that. You have a good sound brain. And as a senior citizen, how would you be
Um,
if you were absolutely healthy?
I don't know, probably
Hello?
chaos.
Hello?
Probably chaos, honestly.
Cheese and crackers, hold up. I can't hear. One second. Hello?
Hey,
Me. I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
Hello?
Hey, you there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here. I don't know why, but my audio cut out. Anyway, senior citizen?
Probably just chaos.
I wanna be okay, so
I know what I want to be. I want to be that urban legend.
yeah,
I want to be that
I wanna
cryptid.
be that.
Yeah.
Okay, not a cryptid, but an urban legend, or not even like an urban legend. Okay, so imagine this. Imagine older Ricey, I am just old, I am a senior citizen, I will be in my 70s, 80s, right? I have
Mm-hmm.
nothing to lose. I
Mm-hmm.
can do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
I would live in and this is a huge dream, I don't know why, but I would live in those really, really rich, like, swanky nursing homes they have in, like, California or, New York or something, where they have and if you can see them, they're like these fancy, like, it's for the rich, obviously, nursing homes where they have, like, casinos on the bottom floor, a bar, all this. I would live there. That's my goal, to live there. And if my husband wants to come with me, if my husband's still alive, we're gonna just spend all of our millions, because that's why I'm literally manifesting that. Spend our millions in the casino. Um, and I will say this, if my husband passes before me, I told him this, and I'm a senior citizen. If my husband passes before me and I still got that sex drive, Imma be a hoe. Imma be an old lady hoe. Watch me. Imma
Use
be a hoe in my
protection.
80s.
Use protection.
I can already imagine it. I'm gonna be that. You want an assisted living place? Yeah, I would be a gimp. Is that what they call it? Gilf. Yeah, that would be me.
You'd be crazy.
Exactly. I would be crazy. Yeah, Chelsea. I want an assisted living place, not a nursing home, where there's like a lot of us, just old people wandering around playing casinos, and yeah, that's the life in my 80s. That's the life I wish I could have. I'm gonna
Use
manifest it right
protection
now.
because that's the highest rate of like STD and STIs.
Oh yeah. But as an old lady, I think that's the kind of life I want to live. I know that sounds so weird and bizarre, but I love I love watching old people who are out there living their best life. They living out there like they're in their 30s or 40s, still living life. I want to be that. That's who I'm going to be when I'm old, for
Yep.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of life I want to live. Um, so Chelsea said she won't be an asshole and will give people candies. Oh,
Yeah.
um, and no one else wants to. I guess it's a hard topic because I know a lot of people who don't like the thought of getting old. Um, because and there's some negative things, like I said, what you said with dementia and stuff. Um, However, if you just take that away, I want to know how many people actually wonder about how they'd be like when they're old.
I want to be one of those weird people that have like the eccentric houses and dress kind of eccentrically, and then like that are the sweetest people in the whole wide world, but are absolutely weird with a lot of yard art and stuff. Is what I
Oh
want to be.
yeah.
Will be one of
Yard art. I know, yeah. That's true.
those. Oh yeah,
Yeah. I wanna be that old lady that calls out assholes, like, "You ain't gonna fight me, bitch."
it's true.
Yeah. It's true. I
Get
love that.
oh, and you know it's gonna be bad because you getting shamed by an old lady. Damn. Mm.
Yeah. I was like, if you get shamed by grandma, that's something else. There's just
Oh,
a power that old people have that if you get shamed by your elders, you feel the shame. They just have a way with it. Dang.
I'm just gonna go ahead and put this out there that like if y'all are hearing something in the background, I'm sorry. Apparently, my neighbors downstairs have decided to start construction at like
I hear that, yeah.
on a Sunday for no fucking
Oh,
reason.
here is a question. But I do wanna go a little deeper, okay?
Yeah.
Um, who would you hire to score the soundtrack of your life? And what would
Oh,
that sound like? I wanna add, what would that sound like? So this one's a little, you have to think a little bit, right?
it's one of those
Um,
things that's like Danny Elfman. I'm not that
ooh,
goth though.
I mean, who, it doesn't matter if you are, who would you choose? Like, it doesn't matter, don't get into too
Okay, hear
too
me
into it,
out.
like,
Hear me
think
out
about it.
because you know how my like playlists are. I kind of want um the person that did the soundtrack to I may have to just end the stream early because they're gonna be obnoxious with this.
I mean, I can't hear it that much, so
It is
I don't think.
distracting because it's like right under my desk.
Mhm.
But let's see
Okay, we
here.
can end the stream with this being the last question.
That
Oh, Chelsea! That's a good one. Lin-Manuel Miranda
oh yeah,
or Mystery Skulls.
Mystery Skulls is really
That's a
good.
good
I was
one.
gonna say the people that did Into the Spider Verse, a mix of Danny Elfman and Into the Spider Verse. Think about
That's a
how
good one.
yeah.
That's a good one. Weird Al Yankovic. I would feel like that would be the best comedy, just to you have to have a sense of humor if you have Weird Al actually scoring your life.
Right?
Those are just good people to be around. Um,
What about you? What you want?
Dead ass, I will have to steal Chelsor's answer, but
Mm,
because I love Lin-Manuel Miranda, especially in Encanto, the way he did, and Into the Heights. That's also, or In the Heights.
yeah.
Loved I love In the Heights. However, aside from the greatest composer of our time,
Mm,
putting him aside, Hans Zimmer. He composed The Holiday. And actually he composed a lot of music. And if anyone has seen the cheesy ass movie called The Holiday, which is like a Christmas movie with Kate Winslet, with Cameron Diaz, the guy who's playing Bowser in the movie.
Chris
I
Pratt.
can't remember his name. No, Jack Black.
Jack Black. Oh,
Jack Black is in the film, and who's that hot guy? He's
The
playing
Holiday?
Dumbledore.
I don't think I've ever heard of The Holiday.
Yes. What is his name? He's the hot guy. He's playing Dumbledore, young Dumbledore. Oh God,
Jude
what is his
Law.
name? Jude Law. So those four are the main stars, and it's like a romance story. However, the
Oh.
music in that movie is so beautiful. And Hans Zimmer, he he has composed the song for that. And also, can I also put another one? The composer for Pride and Prejudice, the 2005 film with Keira Knightley, because I love the soundtrack and I used it for my wedding.
I have a question.
Hell yeah.
So, can
Yeah.
I just say for when I'm an eccentric old lady, um, I want the person who did Mission Impossible to
Yes.
compose my old lady life.
Your old lady timeline is gotta be composed by an action, like,
Yes,
composer.
absolutely.
That would be great. That would be fantastic.
So, okay, but also like I kind of want like Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
Oh, yeah. Their music is bomb. Mhm.
Mhm.
It gets you hype. There for sure, it gets you hype. Alright, I can accept those.
I think my neighbors have
I have a lot
stopped
of
for
music.
now, so we can keep going for a little bit longer, but that like mm,
No, yeah, yeah. I will ask one more then. Let me see. I want a good one. Because the soundtrack one I think is fun.
that was fun.
I'm trying to find another one that's really fun.
Also, if anyone
I think
has
I've
any
asked this one
questions
before.
for us, you can ask us.
Oh, yes, this is an AMA. Excuse me. Hmm, I'm gonna find a good one.
Let's see here.
Here's one. Here's one. Here's one. Here's
hmm
one that I think I can answer as well. When you were a small child, what did you think about often?
When I was a small child, what did I think about often? Hmm. I was deeply terrified of death. Like I had been
Really?
aware and had like a really weird comprehensive understanding of what death was from a super young age.
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Um but
I love Chelsea's answer. I'm sorry.
I don't know, like
Mommy had
I
think about it. I read my journal I had as a kid, and I thought about a lot. What am I currently watching? Okay, so Chelsea says, "I have no questions, but I wanna watch Merlin with you guys because it has a resurgence." Okay, Chelsea, I'm down. I think I have some of the Merlin DVDs,
She's
that
mentioned
my mom
watching
used to
Merlin
watch.
previously. Merlin's on Hulu,
Yeah.
right? Or is it on Netflix?
Oh, it could be on Hulu. I have DVDs because my mom
Ooh.
was, addicted to Merlin for a while, so I think I have the first season. Small Me had Head Empty, Climb Trees energy. I also had that energy.
Oh, it's on Netflix,
Um
Hulu, and
Oh!
Amazon. So we could
Oh,
watch it really
nice. I could
anywhere.
definitely watch it. Um, so for you sorry, going back to the question. For you, it was just death? Just thinking about that?
Um, like that's the only thing that I can really remember because it still kind of sticks with me to this day, like
Mhm.
mortality and stuff. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know, like
I had I think as a ki so I was with Chelsea as well. I had small like, what is it? Small head or big head, cloud cheese and energy in my case. Um, Head empty, all that stuff. But I did think about space a lot, which is why I love space things. Because before I realized that you can actually die in space and space isn't meant for everybody and you can just like head explode in space, right? And the dangers of space. I thought space was something that anyone can go to. Since we landed on the moon, anyone can go to space, right?
mm,
And that there are but people aren't saying anything, which it turns out is true, by the way, that there are other things in space, like or other people in space, um, that, we just can't see. Like if you get to if like I thought if you got to space you can actually see heaven, you can see where God is, you can see like all the angels, all that stuff. There's something beyond just our earth in space for some reason. And I
Mhm.
was like if I ever got to space, I can see the aliens and I can see God and I can see all this. Like everything, everything I always thought that you can't see is because it's in space, which was weird as a kid.
I
But
mean, no,
that's what I
no, but
thought.
that kind of actually makes sense though. Like
Because
thinking about it as
I
like with a kid's kind of perspective, like that kind of makes sense.
'Cause, like, I mean, how are you supposed to see, like, the I spirits and stuff like that?
Mhm.
Because I learned at a very young age about spirits and stuff, but I also thought that, oh, you can actually see them if you're in space. Like, you can look down on Earth and see all the spirits and stuff. You just had to be in space. And I literally thought that as a kid. Space had everything.
Okay,
Um,
that's
and
better
now
than what my cousin like tricked me into believing when I was a kid was that the moon is made of cheese, but it's toxic cheese and you can't eat it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I never thought the moon was made of cheese, I don't think. I just thought the moon was the moon, but it was attainable because people went to the moon, right?
right.
I don't know. I just had a weird thing as a kid. I was just like, everything you can see from space, which is why I love space. Now I know how more mysterious it is and stuff like that. Space. Sorry. What anime are you currently watching? Oh, you already answered. You said you weren't watching anything.
Yeah,
Um,
the last thing I watched
I
was Mugen Train. Well, no, my bad. The
oh,
last thing I watched, quote unquote, anime wise, was the Witcher movie, which was one of the Netflix animations. It was all right. It was pretty good.
mm,
It's just the Netflix animation trope. If you've watched Castlevania, it has very similar tropes to that. If you watch The Blood
right.
of Zeus, it's basically the same thing as that.
So this is embarrassing. I don't know if this is embarrassing. But I did watch an anime I haven't watched much anime recently, straight up,
Mm.
but I did watch an anime movie, which is based off a video game, which I've been playing lately, and that's Professor Layton. I didn't know it had an anime, like an
Yeah.
animated movie, or I guess an anime because it is anyway. So I watched the Professor Layton movie.
E.
That was the last thing I watched. It was, like, last week or something. And it was actually pretty good. I'm addicted to the Professor Layton games. Dead ass. I'm addicted to them. And I didn't realize that the movie actually ties in with the prequel games. So I watched it not thinking much about it, and I should have
Mm.
played the first game. But anyway, that's what I watched. I know it's not anything exciting.
Um,
However,
Me and my husband
that's what I
watched
watched.
Jungle Cruise last night, that Disney live action.
Ooh. Yeah,
And
yeah,
we weren't
yeah.
really
How
like
was that?
fully paying attention. It was just something on while I was watching literally all the bedding after me and my husband had been sick.
Hmm.
It was cute. It was all right. Like it was whimsy. It wasn't bad.
Oh, she said I liked it. Yeah. Okay, I have a question. Here
Okay,
here's something to stir the pot, I guess.
stir the pot. All right, let's stir the pot.
All right.
Let's mix up this tea.
It depends on how you answer, obviously.
All right.
However,
Mhm.
what's the one rule in society I wish others didn't need to abide by?
The one rule in society I wish others didn't have to abide by.
Yes.
Um, I feel like it's not really like a rule, like a law kind of situation. It's more,
Society,
tr-
that's the thing. It didn't even say law. It just said
right.
in society.
I think taboo and tradition. Like, tradition
Hmm.
is just peer pressure from dead people, and that we should be able to adapt more easily as our society progresses. And not all taboo, But some taboo doesn't need to be like taboo.
I see what you mean.
Yeah, like there are some things it's just like things involving children
Oh, yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
stay taboo. Things like polyamory shouldn't be taboo.
Mm, okay, I see what you mean. I
And I
hmm.
think that it's like it's there are things that are different for different cultures. I think there are different taboos based off culture.
That's true. Huh. I think let me think about this because I have several. What's just like a societal rule
Hmm.
that others need to abide by? I'm trying to think of because I have several, but can't really explain them. So let me think.
Okay.
Also, this goes out to the chatters as well. I know it's like a deep thinking question, but I love those.
And it's
Um,
things that like people do not have to abide by, correct?
yeah, you just wish that others didn't need to abide by. So just people in general, I think, shouldn't abide by a certain rule. Um, Mine's particular personal, you don't have to know me to understand. I mean, you can pass on a question. That is totally fine. Women should have actual control over their bodies, not necessarily abortion stuff. Okay, that's also
Yes.
true.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have so many.
But
I'll just start listing them.
mine's a little like an umbrella because it's like a lot of like Christians believe that you shouldn't get tattoos. And it goes back to like, oh, it's tradition. We are Christians that we do not have to follow the laws of the Old Testament. Like I get
Mhm,
practicing Jewish people believe that because that is their religion. That is a that are, those are the laws
mhm.
that they still follow in their religion. But as a Christian, who gives two fucks? We've been abolished of those laws.
I that's okay. I often have a debate with my father, who is a pastor, about this because a lot of the old laws, and I hate this. People don't really understand. I guess we're going into religion. My bad.
Oops,
But
sorry.
yeah, but I guess a lot of it is based off religion.
Mhm.
Um, we as humans, we pick and choose our laws, and then I hate that they're like, "Oh, but it's the Christian way." Hold on, what? When? Since when?
And
Since
why
when?
does Christianity have to like supersede everybody's beliefs and
Also, I should
religions?
right. I also should mention that I am a Christian.
Yes.
I just
Same.
have. I think that I'm not shitting on Christianity. I am a Christian, but I also believe that we as humans, in today's society,
Mhm.
pick and choose laws for our actual government, and then we weaponize Christianity, and I do not like
Mhm.
that. I do not like that at all. And I hate that society thinks that that's okay.
Right.
And it's not. It really isn't. Um, and also, can we just have natural hair in schools? That's all I want to say as well.
Mm.
It's natural hair and or hijabs. If they need to wear them, just leave it. Leave them alone. Headgear, I guess, or just the hair in general in schools. Leave that shit alone. Leave that shit alone. It shouldn't even be a thing in schools. You know what you should worry about? Paying your teachers more. They're raising your kids half the
Yep.
day.
Mhm.
So, straight
Mhm.
up pay them more. That's what I believe in society. I've got a lot of hot takes on that. So,
Yeah.
what
Agree,
do we have?
Chelsor.
What was it? I don't believe it should have such sway in our country. I don't think so either.
I don't believe
I don't think
one
that's what it's
religion
meant to
should
be.
have such sway.
That's agreed.
In
Agreed.
our
One
country, our
religion.
country is
Mhm.
considered the melting pot. Like, we should be taking in at least consideration of other religions as well. Um,
Mhm.
but in reality, no religion should have any sway in our government and country.
I agree.
So
That's
either
our
it's
hot take
all
of
of
the
it or
day.
none of it.
That agreed. Agreed. Okay, so here's one, a fun one, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite Southern custom? And that's literally
Favorite
a question here. Do they realize I'm from the South? What is your
Southern
favorite Southern custom?
favorite Southern custom? Mm, like that's a really hard thing for me being a picky eater.
Oh yeah,
Because a
everything I have to
lot
say,
of Southern culture is around food.
food. I had this conversation with my brother yesterday.
Hmm.
We were eating at what is that country place? Cracker Barrel.
Oh.
We were eating at the Cracker Barrel. Sorry. And that's one thing we discussed in the South. There was something about the South was their food.
Right.
And one thing, what's my favorite Southern custom? Southern cooking. Southern cooking is the best cooking. And I've been around. I have been around, but I have to say Southern cooking is still the best cooking. It like soul food or just Southern food in general. Just
Ooh.
oh,
Yeah, no, okay, so Chelsea brought something up. Like the custom,
yes.
I wouldn't really say it's custom. I would have to say like the language. We like the South has its own kind of like language. And it's this energy that they have. And like Chelsea brought up bless your heart, the sarcasm of bless your heart. The backhanded compliments is something that I kind of love because I'm a very, very blunt person and I'm like, don't, like, I'll be someone that's like, oh, bless your heart, sweetheart. Oh my God, you poor, poor sweetheart kind of situation.
It's you say it, I think, because there's actual people who use bless your heart as in, oh, bless your heart. But then
I've
there's people
never
who
met
say
anyone that has genuinely said bless your heart.
I have when I
Ever.
was a kid and I felt I have when I was a kid and I felt and my Sunday school teachers, she always said this. If there's something wrong, she would literally go, "Oh, bless your heart." Like if it was something bad, right? It can be
It
heartfelt,
can be
but
heartfelt, but I don't think I've ever heard
it's
anyone say bless your heart
yeah,
sincerely.
but it's 2
They've
sides of the
used
same
other
coin.
things. And the reason why I kind of love it is because I've kind of modernized it. Is that
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
that backhanded compliment because like you know this. I've said it to you. I used to say this all the time to one of my coworkers when I worked at the call center. It's like, "You're so pretty. Oh, you just so pretty today." And I'll say this to my sister-in-law too, because she's really smart. She's like studying to be a nurse. She's gotten into nursing school
Yeah.
and stuff. But boy, howdy, does she have some fucking dumb moments. Like
That's
dumb
me
as
all the time.
shit
You always say
moments.
that.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, you
Oh,
so
bless your heart.
pretty.
Yeah. So, I do think there are 2 sides of the same coin. It can be heartfelt and it can be judgmental. Fuck. It just depends on how they say it. And,
But Chelsea
I
has a point that like the little old ladies know how to use
oh,
it without
yeah.
you realizing it.
They're so smart, but other old ladies can pick up on that. I think though that that's a good Southern custom. I've I've never said I never really say "bless your heart" because again, I haven't really grown up around people who said
It's
"bless your
more,
heart."
it is kind of like more of a white culture kind of thing.
Yes, however, I I know of "bless your heart," and I feel
Um,
so bad if someone from the North does something stupid and like, "Oh, bless your heart," and like side eye or just
mm,
oh, and they don't know. They're like, "Oh, they must be really sweet. It's the Southern hospitality." And I'm just like, "Oh, no, honey. She just dissed you in that Southern
mm-hmm.
charm." That's what she did. I love it though. I love it. Um, let's see. Oh, that's too hard. I can't think of how to do that. Hmm. I'm trying to find a good one.
Mm.
Oh, here's one. Oh, look at him. I love it. So, what was your favorite experience as a student?
Specify
So,
student as like
as
primary
someone
education
who
or
was in
secondary.
school. No, it doesn't say. It said just student. So I'm assuming anything while you were a student. What was your best experience as a student?
As a student, I
Yeah.
kind of hated, like, from kindergarten through um 8th grade. I had a bully that entire time. Well, except for 6th grade
Yeah.
because I was homeschooled. I was bullied the entire
Yeah.
time. I went to a private school when I was in high school from 9th through 12th grade. I had a lovely teacher. She was weird and crazy and not your stereotypical like passive aggressive toxic Christian. She's wonderful. I loved her to death. She made transitioning to that school very easy.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
but I have to say, when I was in college and working in the theater department and being in theater was
Yeah.
the best thing. I was able to find friends that were weird or weirder than me,
Mhm.
that openly accepted me. Like I got to do some amazing projects. While working there, I made corsets, I did lighting classes, I did stage combat. Like I loved every minute of it. Like I hated some parts of it, like but it like I also knew at that time that I was hating it because it was a challenge. And
Yeah.
that it was a
Mhm.
challenge not like directly relating to me, like scenic design and stuff. Like I was in there for costuming, so like I hated the scene stuff, but it was still a wonderful experience.
You know, along the same vein, right? Before I developed stage fright, mine was theater. A lot of the memories I had was from school theater, and I guess it's a core memory because there's still songs that I remember
Mm.
when I was in theater. There are still some songs I can remember word for word. So I do think that being in theater for me as a student, um, when I was younger was, one of the most fun I've ever had. I liked singing, I liked performing, and then when I was in middle school to high school, I started performing at our Christian community theater. That's what that was literally called, Christian Community Theater,
Mhm.
and then I developed stage fright because anxiety hit me when puberty did. And that sucked. That fucking sucked. So I stopped performing, but I do think that that and there was a the field trips. I remember several of the field trips I had
Yeah.
when I was a kid
Elementary school?
and in elementary school, and I remember we went to was it the Golden Flake Chip Factory? And we had
Yes.
all the chips.
I
We
didn't
had
go
all
as
the
a
chips.
student, but I did go in summer school. Or not summer school, but like summer camp, like day camp kind of
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we went for school. It was a field trip. So I remember several field trips. So I think as a kid, a core memory as a student, I have more happy memories being in like elementary to middle school, I think, with the field trips and the theater and stuff like that. Um, I actually enjoyed and I played sports. I played a lot of sports, and that was also a core memory. But I did like going more on the field trips than anything.
Agreed.
Uh, we should go to the zoo? Yes, yes, we
Yes.
should. I wanna go back to I love the zoo.
Zoo.
I love the zoo and aquariums. That's me.
Yeah. Zoo.
That's
Oh,
me.
we should go to the Georgia Aquarium together. I wanna
I
go.
love the Georgia
They
Aquarium.
have the
I
Georgia
fucking love it.
Aquarium has a sea turtle rescue. So they'll
Oh,
be
yeah,
one
that's
of the
right.
locations that take in sea turtles and rehabilitate them
Yeah.
and stuff, and then we'll do like a release for them. And the first time and only time I've ever been to the Georgia Aquarium, they did not have any sea turtles because the day before they had released all the ones that they had. And I'm very sad, and I
Hmm.
want to go back because I want to see the sea turtles.
I wanted to go back 'cause I love the ocean and the stuff in the ocean. It's crazy to know that everything you see there is in the ocean.
I do not like the ocean. I do not like
I
the
know, I do.
depths. I don't. Nope. So
But the
it's like
things you
I
see
will.
in the aquariums are in the ocean. And you're like, "Oh, that's cool."
I. Mm, 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 mm,
Sorry, I didn't mean to
mm.
ruin aquariums for you. I find it very interesting that I see these and I'm like, "Oh, well, that's really cool that I get to swim with these or swim in the body of water because they will never go up to a beach, obviously.
Some of
However,
those
some of them
creatures,
really cool.
correct.
Yeah, yeah, most of them,
Right.
like the, whale shark, they're not gonna be in the
Yeah, no, they're
beach.
not. Um,
Let's see. Go ahead, go ahead.
but yeah, no, like the zoo, I want to go to the zoo. I remember in high school, like obviously, when I was in elementary school, we did children's theater. I grew up in Birmingham, so the Birmingham district would do this program or something. I don't know. Obviously, like my parents paid for my ticket and stuff. We would go see plays at the children's theater.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
remember Princess and the Pea. I think I remember
Oh,
The Three
yeah.
Musketeers. I remember The Wizard of Oz. Like, I loved going and seeing that. So, when I was older and in high school, my teacher, again, the one that, like, I love to death, that really helped me transition to this private Christian school, um, would take the freshmen and sophomore, and I think the juniors and seniors too. No, she only took the freshman and sophomore until I got into being a junior and senior to see the um, Shakespeare Festival plays. So that would be like Richard III, Three Musketeers,
Oh,
the
yeah, 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 yeah.
Count of Monte Cristo, like all those. So like
Right.
more intense, common stories and plays. And it was always really good because it they didn't like stupefy it too much, and they were really fun. Oh, I remember seeing Don Quixote there as well.
Oh. Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Sorry,
no,
I'm
I
trying to
love
find
going
it
to
as well.
theaters. We should go to the theater.
I love going to the theater. I experienced Hair, was it Hair? Yeah, it was Hair, um, at the college theater at school,
Mm.
and there was a nude scene, by the way, which I was not expecting, so me and my freshman mind were was corrupted by
That's
that scene,
better than what happened to my husband when
and I didn't
he
go
was a
ahead, go ahead.
child. No, it wasn't my husband, it was my mother-in-law. So, the UAB theater did Equus back in like the 80s or something, and Equus was like
Yeah.
that big horseplay that like Daniel Radcliffe did when he was like 19 or something, or 20, to break away from Harry
I need to
Potter.
see this. I've gotta see this because
And
this is
so there are naked
what?
scenes. Like big, not like this,
Oh,
like, oh, I am a naked person and now I'm off stage. It's like this is an entire scene with naked people. Um, and my mother-in-law apparently went when she was like in middle school. So like my
no way.
grandmother-in-law took
Oh
her
my
because
gosh.
she was a horse girl.
What is this thing called?
Equus. So like
Equus, okay.
equine, but equus.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh
because
my
my
gosh.
mother-in-law is like a huge horse person. My grandmother-in-law took her to go see Equus. It's like, oh, it's a play about horses. We're gonna go see the horse. Nope. This is a college production, and they would absolutely be swinging their adult bits around on stage.
Yeah. I completely so I don't know why first of all, I've never seen Hair. I knew it was a very, very popular play production. There's movies now I think about that one, but, um and it's a very popular musical, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to see it. I was, like, in my freshman year, and I'm like, "Oh,
Are you
well
saying
then, like,
hair or
okay."
hairspray?
Hair.
I've never heard of hair.
It's the where the Age of Aquarius song comes from. It's based in the '60s, I believe? Um,
I've never heard of it.
yes, it's the American Tribal Love Rock Music, musical.
Oh, rock. Okay, that explains
Mhm.
so much.
It was supposed to be it's based around the anti-Vietnam War peace movement. That's what it was. And it's depiction of illegal drugs and its treatment of sexuality. and it's irreverence for the American flag and nude scenes. That's what I read in Wikipedia. That is the musical that I watched, and I thought, "Hey, a musical, I love musicals," and I was there, and honestly, I recognized a lot of the songs, you know, but I never saw the actual play, and now I know why I wasn't allowed to watch the actual play as a young woman,
Mhm.
young girl, and I'm like, "Oh, no wonder it's in college now, I can watch it." Here's something. Last wait, do we have oh, no, we gotta get going. Uh,
One
alright, you
more.
know what?
One
Quick
more's not
question.
gonna hurt.
Quick question. Okay. How do you cope with stress?
Uh, oh, I guess it depends on the stress.
So, I'll say just basic stress, like low level stress.
Low level stress.
How I cope with low level stress is I distract myself from it, reading webtoons, dead ass,
Yeah,
or playing video games. I
I avoid
cope
it.
by avoiding it,
I don't
distraction.
acknowledge it. It's fine.
That's definitely me. If I'm stressed, I will do something to not make me stressed anymore, like reading, because then if I get stressed with reading, that's fine because, I love reading, or, chills are
Yeah,
I don't.
exactly. Um,
I have to cope or else it'll eat me alive, and I can't have that. So, either that or taking an edible and riding away the stress. That's how I cope with stress.
I,
Very healthily, as you can see.
for me, it's one of those things. It's like sometimes I'm not even aware that I'm stressed, and so I have to have
Yeah.
like you, or Chelsea, or my husband, like call me out. It's like you're being a bitch. Like you've had to do it
Mm.
with me. You're like, can I say something? And I'm like, if you have to ask that, then I need to listen to what you're saying.
Oh, yeah. And I'm like, "You're stressed. You need to calm the fuck down. Calm your titties."
And yep. And then it's like, all right, I have to acknowledge what it is. If I know what it is, I have to like stop obsessing over it. I have to like have my ADD stop obsessing over it. So I have to obsess with something else so I can objectively see how to handle the stress, if that makes sense.
Uh, yeah, 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 yeah.
So
That's fair.
so if
I
I
just have to distract myself.
yeah.
I so this is the thing, I also my husband has pointed this out too. When I'm stressed about something or if something comes up and, like, there's a problem, right?
Yeah.
If there's a problem that arises and I get stressed about it, I will and it's something within my control, I will immediately try and resolve the problem. I don't care how stressed out it makes me, because in my brain, sometimes I would actually go out and deal with the problem immediately. But let's say there was a paper due next week, right?
Mhm.
And I'm stressed about this paper. Instead of actually doing the paper and being stressed about it, I distract myself. It's called procrastination. And I do that
Procrastination.
because I distract myself so much until the day before and then I write my paper. Because I tend to write better under stress. I just don't write it the first day.
That's kind of why like
Um,
I hate school. Is because it's
oh, I
like,
hate school.
oh, like it's not exactly teaching me how to cope with shit healthily. Like I would
No,
procrastinate
no.
really, really bad. But I have like a little
Procrastinate
side
so
job
much.
now that like I'm getting down to crunch time and stuff that I have to like interact with other people with, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't procrastinate. I have to have this shit done as soon as possible, even though I am kind of technically still kind of procrastinating. Um, because it's been a
I was
while
gonna
since I've
say,
been able to do this job. Um, like I've gotten out of the habit and the discipline. I have lost a lot of discipline because of the pandemic and stuff.
mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but like when I have to have reasonable deadlines, yeah, Chelsea, you wouldn't
That's
know
me.
anything about my procrastination at all. Um, like having to have reasonable accountability has helped with my procrastination a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's the last question. I think it was a good last question to end on. Something
Yeah.
short and sweet. What did you think? about several of the questions that we asked today. What did you
They're
think?
not bad. I
I
like
mean, I
I
tried to
told
get
you
something
that
that
it's like if I didn't want to answer a question, I'd let you know that I didn't want to answer a question.
obviously, but some of these I wanted to actually know about you, and I learned a lot about you, which is good, and also some fun ones and some
Yeah.
good things that will bring out some stories out of you. Um, but yeah, I hope you liked it. I
Yeah.
love this book. I've been reading so many of these questions to my husband because I'm just like, this is a very interesting way to get to know people.
Do you think we
Um,
should like ask these questions on our Twitter?
oh, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I can have
Not
some
not like
throughout the week.
one a day, but like one a week.
I'm okay with that. Some of the good there's some that are just like, okay, that's actually a bad question. There's gonna be bad questions mixed in with the good, but I wanna give you guys all the good questions. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get my shit done. Now that's also valid.
Yep.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I think that's everything. Who are you? We should
Who
say
am
who you
I?
are.
I'm Ab Mickey
Who are you?
Ree. I just commented, so you can find me under that exact same spelling on Twitter. And you can hit me up there and message me and talk with me there. You can. I don't stream unless I'm hosting the podcast. But you can catch me playing with either Chelsea the Destroyer or Ricey or other
Hi.
people around, kicking ass, taking names, screaming at Ghost.
Oh yeah, fuck the Faz. Fuck the Faz.
You love
Um,
Faz.
I do love Faz. I love how much it scares me and just being a bitch baby about it.
It's
All right,
delightful.
here I am. That's me, a
Who are
bowl of ricey
you?
in chat. I am a bowl of ricey. I put it in chat. And you
What
can
do you
find me
do?
on I stream, honey. I stream.
You stream. What do you
I
stream?
I stream. That's just a bunch of random things. But my name is a bowl of ricey, and I do plan on streaming sometime today. There is a game that I really want to play. A puzzle game that's a big mind fuck that I'm very excited for. Um, so catch me on Twitch, yeah, Twitch, and Twitter, Twitch and Twitter with that name in chat. A bowl of ricey. That's me, right there. Anyway, where can you find both of us?
What's your... You can find us on Twitter under that handle. What's your Open 10? You can hit us up there. We'll probably drop one of these icebreaker questions on there later,
Yeah,
so give
I
us a
think it's
follow.
yeah. Come check that out. And anyone is more than welcome to answer. I want to know about people.
They can also ask
I
us
love knowing
questions
about people.
there.
Oh yeah, you can. You can do that as well. Or if you have any suggestions on what we needed to talk about next for our next podcast, we are more than welcome to accept those as well.
Oh,
So
by the
yeah.
way,
Okay.
to give people a heads up, we're not gonna have a podcast the second weekend in February. So
Ooh.
February 13th.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't have a podcast in October because we were going to AWA. We are not going to have a podcast on February 13th because we
Because
have...
we're going to the greatest convention, winter convention in all of the Southeast.
Yep.
And it's called Comic-Con. And y'all
Comic-Con.
all should come. If you live in the Southeast, specifically in the Alabama area, you also definitely come. Just saying. Not that
Definitely
I'm
come.
working there because I'm definitely not.
Yeah, you're not.
I'm not working
You
there.
have
I'm just
no
speaking from
affiliation with
fan
that
experience. No, none whatsoever.
whatsoever.
Whatsoever. But yes. So that is why we will not be.
But
But
you can
we
always
could
come
post
and
pictures,
visit and say hi to
or you
us.
can come and visit and say hi. I'll definitely be walking the floor in
I'll
cosplay
be
for show.
walking the floor. I'm planning on
Yeah.
doing JC again on Saturday for
Nice.
Comic Con. I'm very
That's what
excited.
I'm talking about. All right, but you guys take care.
Yeah,
Everyone, please be safe. I know a
please.
lot of people are getting sick. Just please be safe. Hey.
Bye.
uh, so, so please be safe out there and stay warm. And
Social
take care of
distance.
yourselves
Wear a
and stuff like
mask.
that.
Wash
Social
your
distance,
hands.
all that stuff. Wash your dirty
Nasty.
ass hands. You're nasty. Damn it. We did it.
It's like we hang around
So
each
yeah.
other constantly.
So we exactly. God dang. But take care of yourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Bye
we done?
bye.
We go?
We done. We're going.
Like, bye.
Bye everybody.
Bye.